God saying it's not about the external things, it's about the internal things that I ultimately am caring about. I don't care what everybody else sees, I care what I, as God, can see. I care about your heart. Now, we're going to get into part 4 today, which is the practice of righteousness. And there's going to be a theme that's going to come up over and over and over again in this section, and that is this concept of a reward. This is not about earning our salvation. Salvation is a completely and total free gift of God. This right here is about gaining a reward from God that ultimately we can give back to Him. And if I was to summarize this entire section in one phrase, it would be living for an audience of one. Everything that we are doing ultimately needs to be done for God's glory, done for God, done for His eyes, not for all those around us. And this is difficult. We like to have other people say, hey, you're doing a good job. We like to have compliments from other people. We like to receive this encouragement from other people. But ultimately, we shouldn't be doing things for the praise of other people. We should be doing things for the praise and glory of God. It's going to look at 3 practices. All of these are good things, but they can turn into bad things if we're doing it for the praise of man and not of God. He's going to talk about giving in this section. He's going to talk about praying in this section. He's going to talk about fasting. In each one of these, he's going to talk about this is a good thing, but it can turn into something bad if we're not doing it with the right motives. And the general principle of this section is beware of practicing your righteousness, the good things you're doing. Beware of doing this before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from God, from your Father who is in heaven. He's saying, if you're doing good and everyone else around you is clapping and saying, hey, great job, you're awesome, you're great, he goes, well, that right there is your reward. However, if you're able to be doing these things, no one's even noticing, but God is noticing, you're ultimately going to receive an eternal reward. This theme of a reward is going to come up over and over and over again. Now, when you are in the presence of royalty, you like to give them a gift. When Prince Harry came to Nepal, I am sure that when they greeted him at the airport and greeted him in the palace and all of that, they gave him a gift. When you are in the presence of royalty, you like to give them a gift. Ultimately, we are all going to stand before the throne of God. We are going to be before the ultimate royal, before the ultimate king. We want to have something that we can give to him. How are we going to get these gifts that we can then give to God? Well, these are the rewards that we will be receiving. And it teaches us in Revelation, we're going to throw them at his feet. We're going to give to God a gift. We're going to give to God our rewards. How do we get these rewards that we're able to give him? So first of all, he talks about giving. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be done in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. As I don't think it's any secret that one of the ways in which I am able to live in Nepal as well as provide for ministries in Nepal is because people in America give. By and large, most of the people who give, they don't want any praise, they don't want any adoration at all. They're like, just use this for God's kingdom and take it. There's occasionally, sometimes people that like to give, and they like everybody to know that they gave. They want everyone in their church to know they gave. They want this published. They want everybody to know. And we're all excited. We clap and we say, hey, thank you so much for giving to the ministries in Nepal. And that's awesome. But if we're all clapping and praising them, Jesus is saying, well, that right there is your reward. And that's about it. However, when we're giving in secret and people don't know who is giving, it says your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. We had some needs for fooding in Nepal, and I received some gifts, and it just showed up as anonymous. I have no clue who these people were who gave the money. I have no clue who they were. And guess what? God does know who these people are, and I believe that God is going to reward them. So we don't need to do our giving in such a way that everyone around us knows who is giving. We need to try to do it as much as possible in secret. Try to have people not know that you are giving, so that ultimately your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So giving can be a good thing. However, if you're doing it just for the praise of men, it can be a bad thing. Secondly, he looks at praying. And he talks about people that pray and they use many, 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 many words. I have to be honest with you. When I was a kid, we had prayer meetings at our church, and we would meet on Wednesday night. And there was this one lady who, maybe I shouldn't be judging her motives, but she would just pray forever. And my brother would bring his stopwatch to prayer meeting. This probably wasn't the most religious thing he could have done, but he would time her prayers every single week, and we would see how she got longer or shorter every single week. And it's like, why was she really saying all of these words? Was it because she was truly praying to God? And maybe she was. Maybe I should be judging her motives. But there was times it's like, is she just trying to appear more spiritual by saying all of these words? And Jesus is saying, this is what the Pharisees do. They try to say all these words and have these really long prayers in public so that everyone thinks that they're so spiritual. And it's like, don't do that. If you have a long prayer, do that at home. Do it in secret. No one should know about your prayer life but you and your Father who sees what is done in secret. Once again, this theme of a reward. He will reward you. Try not to make your prayers super long in public. Try to make your prayers super long in private, so that you will receive a reward from it. And then he gives us this prayer. This is called the Lord's Prayer. However, this really is the prayer the disciples gave, the prayer that the Lord gave to the disciples. We were once on vacation at my grandparents', and my sister sat in a Sunday school class with Senior Pastor